Kingy, you saw the Fremantle Dockers up against your old mob, the Kangaroos. They were very impressive. They had a fantastic season with the 4 wins in Melbourne, but there was a real 10-minute segment that you wanted to have a look at.
Oh, they were amazing last week. There's no doubt about that. Let's have a look at some of the numbers here. That 10-minute window where they just dominated the Kangaroos. The game was in the balance. It was only 9 points difference at the start of the last quarter. The Kangaroos had kicked the first couple, and look at that. Look at those numbers. It's unbelievable. Mundy got rolling. We saw Ballantyne put a couple on the scoreboard. 7 goals from 7 inside 50s.
That's the worry, isn't it?
That is powerful. And the Kangaroos couldn't get their hands on the ball. 3 disposals for 10 minutes. That is just unbelievable domination.
It is. 5 centre bounce clearances to zip. It's just one-way traffic, isn't it? But that would concern Brad Scott, the fact that every single time it went in, bang, a goal, and there was nothing they could do.
Nothing they could do. They looked helpless, and their game was taken off them. They weren't allowed to counter-attack out of their defensive 50. And we knew that Fremantle were able to put those clamps on, and it was a shock, I have to say, the scoreboard impact that Freo put to them.
And when you have a look at it too, that North kicked the first 2 goals of the last quarter and got back within 8 or 9 points, and you thought that maybe there's a bit of a roll coming on here, and then for Fremantle to answer that and kick the next 7, and as you said, from 7 inside 50s was a great effort.
So, Kingy, how far can Freo go?
Well, let's have a look at their numbers, because if you really drill down to what Ross Lyon's been able to achieve in such a short space of time, it is quite remarkable. They're our race to September this week, and it is the Fremantle Strangle. This is the last 7 weeks. All these numbers are the last 7 weeks. Contested possession number 1, plus 19 a week, which is huge, and they're number 1 at intercepting that opposition exiting kick, that defensive 50 exit, which most sides are really proficient at now, and it's just simple things. It's just the application and intent to defend. Just look at the speed in which they close that space and they get in to harass and force turnovers. And this is all in their forward half. This was through that period we spoke about on the weekend, but some of these in the first quarter, the second quarter, any looped handball was made pay. Everyone played their role. Hill there, not noted for his defensive work on the eastern seaboard, but to see him do it, I thought was just terrific. There's complete buy-in from the whole players.
I think one of the great points you made there is every time there was a looped hand pass, once you start having to hand pass over the top of someone, you're in trouble. If you can't hit the target directly, you're probably better off not giving it.
And what that's done to their numbers, when we have a close look at, that's an easy goal in the end, but it all comes off the back of that defensive mode or that defensive play. And just looking at their numbers, as we said, they're number 1 at denying opposition counter-attack from their defensive 50, which is their main game. Then they get the game played in their forward half. 12.5 minutes on average the last 7 weeks is number 1 at comp, and a huge number rocket, no doubt. And number 3 at denying scores from stoppages. So it's not necessarily what they do, it's what they're denying that makes them so good.
And I think when Ross went there at the start of the year, he made mention that we need to get fitter. So obviously playing this game, as you say, at both ends of the ground. So there's pressure at both ends of the ground, and you need to be able to cover the territory. I think it was Ryan Crowley said he's lost 8 kilos to be able to do that, and he's had a terrific season. So it's about obviously being strong enough, obviously intent, but it's also having the fitness to be able to cover that.
Kingy, I'm starting to get worried with all these stats, mate.
Yeah, they look too good, don't they?
They look very good.
Well, there's one more to go. Their defence the last 7 weeks, 70 points. That is an amazing number. That's under 12 goals, Rocket, clearly. And it's these 2 guys down back that I think have had outstanding years. Michael Johnson, jury's been out for a long time. Where does he rank in the AFL? But being top 6 for intercept possessions is terrific. Luke McFarlane, well, surely he's All-Australian this year. His ability not only just win the ball back, but to win it back in a pure sense, intercept marking has been a revelation.
You said the thing at the start of this segment, the buy-in. That's the big difference. They've all bought into this. Their defensive structures seem to be really working hard, and the fact that they're number 1 of holding the ball in the forward 50, that's something we haven't seen from the Fremantle Dockers since they've been in the competition.
Recruit of the year is Ross Lyon. Don't worry about the players. He's changed that whole club.
I'm now officially scared of the Dockers.